Volunteers have always been the backbone of our tourist railways and railway museums. Our next location has an army of over 200. They help restore and operate the largest collection of rail equipment in North America. Next stop, the Illinois Railway Museum. The museum is located about an hour's drive northwest of Chicago, outside the tiny farming community of Union. In an old cornfield, 5 minutes east of town, sits a museum that holds over 460 pieces of railroad history. It encompasses 280 acres with 10 huge storage barns and nearly 5 miles of working track. It's one big train set, the backdrop to 8 Hollywood movies so far, and it's a sight to behold, attracting visitors from all around the globe to see its collection, along with many volunteers like Jeff Fryman to help present it all.
1689, you have authority for a 2:55 departure eastbound to Kishwaukee Grove.
His duties today? Dispatcher, one of the most important jobs here. Perched 30 feet up in a control tower, he manages every rail movement, and that could be as many as 4 trains and a trolley car, all moving around the complex at the same time.
This is for real. This is real equipment. This is railroading.
Yes, it is. But to showcase it all for everyone to see in this particular pocket of the country, that was no coincidence.
To bring alive American railroad history, there's really no better place to do that than Chicago, because Chicago's been the hub of railroading for so many years.
Watch your step.
Frank Scenic knows. He grew up in North Chicago and rode streetcars all the time. So when he read in the newspaper that the Illinois Railway Museum needed volunteers, he jumped at the chance.
When I saw our Chicago streetcar 144, I said, oh my God, somebody saved the Chicago streetcar. And I said, where do I sign?
And Frank's been here volunteering ever since, and he's far from alone. A fleet of young and old volunteer at the Illinois Railway Museum. Generations may separate them, life experiences too, but they all have one thing in common, a passion for trains. Volunteers like Frank may have lit the torch, but a new generation is carrying it forward.
You know, we all share the same interest. I think plays into it. You know, we get to play around on these big old machines, which I think is probably a good part of it. Because like we joke like throughout the rest of the museum, here in the Steamland, we're the boys with the big toys.
Yell anyone if you see any part fouling.
Volunteer Nigel Bennett is the professor of the steam room, and he knows the importance of rehabilitating the iron and steel history of America. But what he loves most is working side by side with young people who want to keep our railroad history alive and rolling down the tracks.
It's really great when you see the young ones fascinated by these things, and one of the nice things is we're involving young people in the shop where they're learning the techniques, and hopefully we'll keep it going. Well, that was more than I expected to get done today. Well done, guys.
The Illinois Railway Museum started in 1953 as a dream of 10 men. And today their dream has blossomed into a museum different from any you'll experience. The largest piece in the collection, a stainless steel masterpiece of railroading history. One that the general public can take a journey on.
Folks, welcome to Nebraska Zephyr. The observation car is up and to your left, please.
This is the train of the goddesses, the Nebraska Zephyr. It once ran between Chicago and Omaha, Nebraska from 1947 to 1971. Its top speed, 110 miles an hour. Today's passengers go much slower, but still get the feel of what this train offered during its glory days.
I swear when I first saw this train on the outside, I want to hand polish the whole thing, head to toe. It's a beautiful train. It's almost like it was designed before its time.
No matter if you're a visitor or a volunteer, Enthusiasm is contagious at the Illinois Railway Museum. You can feel it. Ray Wirt sure does. He's piloting the Zephyr today, and like many volunteers here, he takes pride in what they've accomplished.
You know, without all of us doing all of what we do, the museum would not function. This equipment wouldn't run, everything would be stationary, you just go and look at it and go home. It's a lot more fun to get on these old pieces of equipment, run them, and the public enjoys riding these old trains because there's no place else you can do it.
Some people say that if you just have plain dumb luck, eventually you'll succeed. But I think it's really a lot of people that want to see something saved and the perseverance of sticking it out. So I think the key to our success is our people.
I thank them, and this is an invaluable asset to the state of Illinois and this area. I really am grateful that I can come here and see this with my sons.
It takes years of dedication from a fleet of volunteers to make everything work here. But what clearly drives them all, young and old, is this passion for what can move on 2 steel rails. The volunteers have created a museum that's as beautiful as a Grant Wood painting, stark, strong, and colorful. It's a testament to our country's intellectual horsepower and the passion of a few to preserve and present a little slice of this nation's railroad history, one that can be enjoyed by all that visit the Illinois Railway Museum.